Hey guys, how you doing? It's such a beautiful day in London today, and I'm outside. Don't ignore the coat that I'm wearing, or jacket, whatever you want to call that. It's actually not that warm, but the beautiful, beautiful skies are just amazing. Look at the tree, the willow tree there, looking very nice. It's quite windy, but I hope the audio is better than before. Anyway, it's almost been 2 weeks since I made a video on here because I have been extremely busy on a non-crypto, non-YouTube related project that's taken a lot of my time. Also, my family's visiting, so I'm spending a lot of time with my family. That takes priority, unfortunately, over XRP and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. Even though, I make money from this stuff, family is more important. And the other project, man, I'm telling you, it's absolutely amazing. It's an AI related project, which is why it's exciting. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about some of the things I realized during this project. So, anyway, this is the longest time I think I've been away since the bull market started, or since the bear market actually. So I quite enjoy making videos, during the bear market because everybody else is gone, right? All the moon boys are gone. The people remaining making videos during the bear market, people remaining watching videos that are still interested during the bear market often are people who are there to build, right? A lot of people are building. That's another thing. If you want to see what a good project is, they're the ones that are around during the bear market that carry on building even though the value, the price of tokens are low. So the bear market is the good time to, take stock, do a lot of research. You have a lot of time to, look at fundamentals, right? There's no hype usually. There's no nobody pushing you to get a mooning token. There's no frenzy. You have time to, dabble in some of these microscopic cap coins so that, when the market turns around, you have a chance of making quite a fair bit, right? During the bull market, when the price starts to go up, at that point, you get a lot of scams come out of nowhere, lots of moon boys making videos, yada yada. So not a big fan of that, right? And also, for me, actually, the bull market is relatively boring because it's just a waiting game now. I've pretty much maxed out pretty much everything that I am going to be investing in. I've got all my altcoins, I've got all my large cap coins, whatever already. I'm just dollar cost averaging into things like XRP. I'm going to talk about that in a minute as well. A little bit of Bitcoin, playing some leverage games, having fun, and just waiting for the fireworks to begin. Talking about XRP, nothing incredibly amazing has happened since since winning the legal battle. Apart from the fact that XRP and Ripple continue to march on. Ripple continues to make deals with international companies and organizations. Awesome things are happening in the XRP ledger. I've been following XRP Healthcare, XRPH. That's one of the tokens I sort of maxed out on during the down times, and I'm expecting extreme fireworks when the fireworks do begin in XRPH. By the way, none of this stuff is financial advice. Do your own research. Of course, as I always say, you shouldn't listen to moon boys or trust anyone for that matter on YouTube or social media or anywhere else. You should do your own diligent research so that you can make your own decisions, right? Having said that, XRPH, I kind of maxed out on that, expecting some big fireworks. XRP, I continue to dollar cost average. I've actually increased my XRP bags by 10%, believe it or not, in the last month. We've had some weird down dips caused by what's happening internationally, Bitcoin, what happened in Japan, the arrest of the CEO of Telegram had some kind of effect. All of the FUD coming out of the United States, all of the FUD coming out of China, and some of the dumping going on by Germany. We've had all these dumb things that have dragged the price of things a little bit down. All this time, rather than panic, I've just been dollar cost averaging. I had some dry powder prepared, and I also generated new dry powder by doing leverage trading of tiny amounts on JumpX. By the way, not financial advice, but JumpX is looking really, really good. They've released some new updates. I'm going to do a full video on JumpX. I'm preparing it. I want it to be really good, which is why I haven't released it yet. But if you're interested, I've left a link, an affiliate link in my description as usual. It's an affiliate link, so I may get commissions based on whatever activity that you carry out on JumpX, but it's not really a certainty as long as you don't do anything. I don't get anything. I think that's how it works. But do that at your own risk, do your own research, etc. Right? Anyway, I've been generating a fair bit amount. When we had this massive kind of dip in Bitcoin in the last week or so, I went in on a ridiculous leverage. Again, complete gamble, but turned out really, really good. Took the dry powder, the profits generated from that, and pumped it into XRP and into Bitcoin spot positions. Again, I'm going to do a video on how to do that at some point. So if you're interested, signal your interest by saying that in the comment section. Anywho, so I mentioned AI. Now, AI is the future, right? Unfortunately. I say unfortunately because even though it's a great thing, I see the technology for what it is, I also see the bad side of the technology. Now, as someone who was born in the last century, yep, as you can see, I've got some gray hairs there. I was born in the last century, and I think that my generation is the last to have experienced the closest thing to real life, right? Or, life in its realness. Now, when I was a kid, I had the privilege of meeting my grandparents and one great-grandparent. And those people, especially my great-grandma, she died without ever seeing a telephone, ever. So this was way back in the day. I was about 10 years old. At the time, I used to, have these conversations with her. I loved her dearly. I used to visit her quite a lot. And she used to tell me all these things about when she was young, which would have been sometime in, the 19th century. So it would be like 1880 something, 1890 something. So that's kind of wild. That was, before the advent of a lot of the technology that we have now, before, maybe even black and white television was a thing. So that would have been an incredible time to have been alive when, you would take a trip and people wouldn't know if you were coming back or not, when you would get to your destination, if you got to your destination at all. When I was a kid, before technology went wild, again, when I went to boarding school, my parents would have no way of contacting me apart from visiting, right? We didn't have telephones at the time, and they'd have to just assume I was okay. Now, I can't imagine if someone has a child, at 10 years, 11 years, have them in a place where you couldn't contact them, you had no idea what they were doing. Just that real life that we experienced, that's come to an end. Now, in this day and age, what we have now, we can't even tell what's real and what isn't. In fact, I'm going one step further and saying we do know that things are fake, right? So the news is fake. What you're watching now is not 100% real. I mean, this video is going to be edited. You're not getting a live feed. So to an extent, there's an element of fakeness to it, right? So I'm taking out some of the ums and ahs. So I've been thinking about, from working with AI to maybe stop doing that altogether. For instance, a couple of people just walked past me and you can see them in the frame, and I've just edited it out of the video. Well, I will be editing it out of the video just to preserve their faces and their voices and their conversations because I could hear what they were saying, right? But you would have never known if I didn't tell you. So a lot of the things that we're watching on social media, on YouTube, these things aren't 100% real, or they're just outright fake. Now, with this AI project I was working on, I was able to see quite the extent of how far AI has got and the plans for the future. I mean, they are working on completely replacing every single thing with AI. There's coming a time where I will be speaking to you like this on video, and you wouldn't know if I was actually here or if I was AI. And this is a terrible thing in my opinion. And to combat that, I think the only weapon that we have against that is our humanity and our inaccuracies, our analog ways, our flaws. So I think that that's going to be a thing of value in the near future, in the coming future, where, the ums and ahs would be so valuable that I think AI would actually be programmed to deliberately make some mistakes to try and mimic the nuance of humanity. So if this is going to be a thing that is going to be of value, I'm thinking, I might just leave those things in, leave in the ums and ahs. In fact, I might transition to just live streaming so that you guys can get a live feedback. And it'd be very difficult for AI to replace something that is live and interactive, even though, again, judging by the things that I saw in the project, that is also coming. There's going to be live AI streamers, avatars that can respond in real time to questions and interact. But then, of course, if you interact with AI in real time, if you're, got the nuance, if you're observant enough, they're easy to spot, right? They won't quite be like, we can do. We've had millions of years experience in communication, facial expression, body language, etc. But if it's behind a screen like this, we're missing the smells, the touch, and things like that. Then a lot of those things could be mimicked. So going forward, the next generation after this, they would never experience real life. Eventually, even like culture is going to be eradicated by this one global unifying thing where everyone does the exact same thing, everyone eats the same thing, everyone wears the same thing. There will be no point traveling because there will be no difference between London or Paris or Abu Dhabi or Sydney or Lagos or Cairo. It will just be all the same shops, all the same things to do. Everything's online, everything's AI controlled, cameras everywhere, everything's being recorded 24/7, everything's edited, everything's monitored. We have CBDCs that decide what you're spending, etc. And it's going to be a sad dystopian world. I feel particularly fortunate and privileged to have experienced real life, and I aim to max out and enjoy what's left of it, sitting out in the sun, enjoying the willows, the breeze and stuff, making mistakes in my videos and not correcting them. So going forward, you might see, a different format, which is why also I've gone to this vertical. I don't know if you've noticed, I've gone to this vertical format because apparently it's more personal, it's more relatable. This is sort of like the distance. You talk to a friend at, face to face, and this sort of mode, right? Anyway, before I go, I was going to talk about one particular altcoin that I am expecting to do great things. Again, this is not financial advice, by the way. This is something that I've done. So, it's up to you. I'm going to leave a link in the description to it. Realize that already the coin has gone up quite a fair bit, but it hasn't even been released yet. The release is supposed to be Q4. Actually, I'm going to do a complete different video where I'm showing you the coin on my screen. So when I get home at some point, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, I'll create the video where I'm actually showing you the web page. Now, this token, right? When I bought this token a few months ago, it was at, I think, 2 cents or 20 cents. I can't remember. Now it's at 74 cents, which is, so if it was 20 cents, and is now near 80 cents, it's done a 4x. If it was at 2 cents and is now at 80 cents, it's done a 20x. No, sorry, it's done a 40x. But when I looked at the value of my portfolio, I think it's closer to it doing a 4 to 5x because I invested something like $200 into it. Now it's slightly over $1,000 and it hasn't even been released yet. Now, when this token actually gets released, and it hits the market and the FOMO sets in, I am expecting something like a 10 to 100x because Q4 starts in October. And when the coin gets released, obviously people are going to dump. So I expect to see the price sharply go down because if you're like me and you invested when it started, some people invested actually before me, right? And I've also been staking. So not only has the price gone up at least 5x and probably potentially more by the time they release it in Q4, which is imminent really, there's also the staked rewards, which have added over 10% to the value. So in the last, 6 months I've been staking this, I've got over 10%, somewhat, right, extra tokens. So effectively, my coins right now have done something like a 6x. I think that's the average if I calculate it properly. 6x, man, that's not bad. That is bull market stuff, right? And I expect to see a dump and then a FOMO pump because of what it is. It is an L2 for staking Bitcoin. It's called Stakelayer. I've got the link in the description. Again, not financial advice. There are 2 reasons why you want to use the link. First of all, it'll take you to the real project, because in this short period of time, I've seen scam links that lead you to things that look like Stakelayer. In fact, I've had emails of people trying to fish my Stakelayer and telling me to log into MetaMask. You don't need to do any of that. If you just click on the link, I'll take you to the real page, right? The second thing is, of course, if you click that, you'll be earning me referral links, right? And then you can also create those referral links and share with other people, and you can also earn referral links. And that's the other thing I didn't talk about, right? I put in £200 into Stakelayer, and I have earned nearly £1,000 from referral links. So I'm already in massive profit. So even if this Stakelayer never went anywhere, it's been a massive thing for me. But I'm expecting maybe eventually, when Bitcoin tops out, to see Stakelayer, again, not financial advice, this is just me pondering and wondering and calculating, to do something like 100x. You know, when you hear about these tokens that do 100x, 1000x, I'm thinking minimum 100x. Why? Because first of all, the market cap is tiny. Second of all, since they've launched, they started working with Ton, they've worked with Su, I think. They've worked with all these big tokens that are now, you know, being stakeable on that platform. Originally, it's designed for staking Bitcoin, but now it's sort of incorporating other tokens that are quite massive. It's basically Bitcoin's version of Eigenlayer. I don't know if you remember Eigenlayer, which is for Ethereum. So it's a restaking platform, rather. I've been saying staking, I meant restaking. And when the FOMO arrives, right, people get extremely greedy, and people want to restake and make as much money as possible. So I'm expecting a massive FOMO into this. It's the only one, it's got no competition whatsoever, and it's already made all these links. So people are going to be restaking Bitcoin, restaking Ton, restaking all sorts of tokens. And this is just going to be a catapult effect, at which point I'm going to get the heck out when it hits like 100x. Even if it goes to 1000x, 10,000x, then I don't care. As long as I get 100x, which is what I'm targeting. Right, rambled enough, so I'm going to go off and enjoy the rest of the day. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.